Okay, everybody. So we are back for the CBC podcast, of course. This is going to be a big week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, from Avengers Endgame to various things like James Gunn, Shang-Chi, and of course the mega topic, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and all the Marvel properties from Fox are back home to Papa Marvel. So we'll get to all that. I just want to remind people, if you're here, we do have a Patreon. We do a audio commentary per month for films. Last month we did The Dark Knight. Upcoming one is a Oscar award-winning comic book movie. So multiple Oscars. So let that kind of dictate what we're going to be doing. And also, if you go to Twitch, if you have Amazon Prime, you can just sub, and it gives us like some money. And then we keep doing this, but we're gonna keep doing it regardless. But that's not the point. We're we're gonna keep doing it. But it gives us a few bucks, and you get a cool little thing next to your name. So you should do that just because you love us. And to kind of kick off the show, so I got to talk to you about the dumbest moment I've had on CBC in like 5 years. So this relates Spotify and our podcast being on Spotify, and it finally happened like 4 days ago. So I'm talking to one of the dudes at the gym, and he's like, dude, I can't find your podcast on Spotify. You told me it was on there. I was like, it is on there. And he's like, all right, I just pulls it up. I can't find it. I'm like, I pull up my phone, and I show him. I was like, it's right here. Look at it. Look at this. He goes, that's SoundCloud. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like, no, that's... God damn it.
Man.
Like, for some reason, some wire got crossed in my brain, and SoundCloud and Spotify were the same thing when it related to the podcast.
Right, it's time. Give me the login.
I was like, I didn't tell him how stupid I felt, but I was like, I'll get working on that. That must be a mistake.
Yeah, because I can't tell you how many times people have like asked me, "You guys on Spotify?" I'm like, I don't know. Well, I'll let you know when we have an update.
Spotify just recently, within the past year, started doing podcasts.
Oh, dude, it was bad. I felt embarrassed. I was like, well, that's a new one right there. Like, I've hit peak stupid levels right now.
Yeah.
Price chopper.
I felt like fucking. I felt like, what's the dude from Fox that was like Rothman, who didn't know anything that was
Tim
happening?
Rothman, yeah.
And he was just like, kind of walking around, not doing anything smart.
But the question is, are we actually on Spotify now?
That we are. I checked. I verified. It's on there. You can listen to all the episodes and the backlog. So yeah. So there's my stupid of the week as we transition to actual topics. But before that, of course, find me and find us on Spotify. See, there you go.
Now.
Just search Comic Book Cast everywhere, and you'll find us. And of course, you can find me at Armeni's, and I'm here with Mitch.
What's up? You can find me at Mitch692.
Also Tristan.
You can catch me at It's J Chance.
And Shay.
Hey guys, you can find me at Mache1602, primarily on Instagram, because I keep forgetting to tweet.
Yeah, well, everybody forgets something, like I did about Spotify. See, I did a little Simpsons pull there. Never mind. Anyway, Avengers Endgame trailer breakdown. Let's talk about that Endgame trailer, which, wow, that did some big numbers on top of blowing people's expectations away.
You were not happy when I actually had to wake you up earlier. I'm like, hey, by the way, trailer dropped. Get up.
Dude, I had to slug out of bed. It was hard, but man.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah. It was like I woke up like 30 minutes after, and I was wondering what everyone was talking about. It was saying, "Oh, look, trailer draft." I'm like, "What trailer?"
I was a good 2 hours after. I was like, "Oh, what?"
I heard about it. Like, I made a video. Someone was saying it's going to drop somewhere between like the 12th and the 16th, and everybody was like, "Well, it kind of has to drop somewhere in there." And they picked smart and tactically to release it after, like Captain Marvel was out, so they could put her in the trailer. Obviously, that was really smart.
And they gave a full week too, so
yeah, so it felt kind of like nice and welcome to have that kind of drop out of nowhere again. But like, just getting into the trailer, I'm glad that they finally showed like those white suits, so the internet, the people that are saying they were fake, can finally stop.
No, they're still clearly fake. They're amazing.
All that merchandise that they have.
I like how they look in motion. They look a lot better in motion than they did in the still frames.
Oh yeah.
I keep going and looking at the trailer, being like, all right, what's fake? That's more what I'm like intrigued in and what's in here that's false than I am of thinking, oh, all this is actually going to happen.
See, I wouldn't be surprised if they're flipping it around. Like Infinity War, they didn't tell you stuff was fake. They just put fake stuff in there. So what if this time everything's legit? They're just telling you. It's
Yeah,
fake?
they're telling us it's fake, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can believe you right now.
Well, I also like the suits because to me they look like a variation of Ant-Man suit with the quantum.
Oh yeah,
suits.
Oh,
they're
totally.
based on like Hank Pym's quantum suit.
I wonder when Hank Pym was like looking at the Avengers, he was like, there's going to be a contingency plan where we need these suits, or maybe something to do with time travel and a message getting left for him. Maybe he gets them ready.
I'd imagine these are built from Scott and Stark.
Yeah.
That's what I put money on.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to have Hank come back and be like, "You let Stark have my technology."
Oh, I can definitely see him being upset about that, being like, hey, here's my technology. Wait, why does Stark? I have been trying to get away from Stark.
This is
He's
mine.
like, we needed him to save you.
Yeah.
But what I guess kind of like what I really loved about this trailer was, again, it's a trailer that doesn't tell us anything. Like, if you know the quantum suits and all that, you kind of get an idea, but talking to somebody who isn't into it as much as we are and stuff, they would watch this just have no idea what's happening again.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they're dropping no story details in this at all. And like, you can listen to the dialogue and there's a little bit there, but it's leaving a lot to like questioning what exactly is happening and what they're hopping around to.
Yeah, you bring that up, and I've gotten like questions about this too, where they don't know what's going on, but they are really eager to know a little bit more about the backstory of what is going on in the Endgame, if anyone can tell them. So that's what I kind of like, where people want to learn more, even though they're not, comic book fans per se.
Here's the thing: I think with everything we know, you can kind of start piecing it together.
Yep.
Because they had that investors meeting where they had that little clip showing there that there's a certain amount of Avengers going to space, and you see Black Widow and Hawkeye or Ronan on the Benatar in this trailer.
Yep.
If you look at the background, so it's like you can kind of figure like they go to space first, like the first act. Maybe they find Thanos and get like their ship pushed in. They come back, wait a little bit, then go quantum realm.
Well, speaking of Hawkeye, I thought with his new haircut, I thought he was gonna get a rat tail at one point.
Oh, God.
I mean, Thanos clearly dusted only half his head. So.
I like how they sat there and they put the feels, like, so much of it. They brought everybody's past in the beginning part of the trailer, and then you have this little tiny scene of Hawkeye with his daughter, and then you're just, like, mentally thinking, oh, she's getting dusted.
That's the sole reason why that scene's there.
That scene is clearly when they get dusted, because you can tell
Yeah.
if you look at his ankle, he has an ankle monitor on, so...
And for those wondering, like, he's on his ranch, so he's technically inside his own property, so he's fine.
Yeah, he has a little bit more freedom than.
See, what's
Scott.
happened is Hawkeye has pulled a real Jeremy Renner since he does real estate, and he's just buying up more land, which is all his ranch.
Yeah.
So he's fighting the system.
Yeah, that's the little loophole. You can only walk around it in your property.
But that's clearly the start of the movie. If they're going to get dusted there and there.
Oh God, yeah. I'm feeling the movie's going to open in like another depressing way, like Infinity War. It's like, oh, well, this is not going to go the way we think it is. It's.
And then, like, obviously Scott comes back, and it's time's obviously passed because that street's overgrown.
Oh yeah, like there's
There's clearly a time jump, yeah.
Like, to me, looking at that trailer, my biggest takeaway was they're gonna have a really, really hard time, like, going from one thing to another without people complaining about it. And like, that was one of the big complaints of like Infinity War that some of the people had, which is why it scored a little lower on like Rotten Tomatoes, was it moves too fast. There's too many places. I'm like, dude, this is going to jump from locations through time as well. It's going to be like, if people aren't keeping up, I think it's going to overwhelm some of them a little bit, which...
But if it's 3 hours long, if it does stay 3 hours, then you got, what, another half hour to play about with?
That's true, yeah. Yeah. So, what else from that trailer? Obviously, Captain Marvel. She looks awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people complaining she's wearing makeup. It's like she wore makeup in her own movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's obviously she's also like, it's going to be another, almost like Captain America, just not as big of a time jump for her being like, hey, oh, there's new stuff around.
She's
hey, I'm
had
gonna
adventures out there, you know? It's like, and what I found ironic was the people that were calling her, you know, ugly and all these things because she looked normal in the last movie are now upset that she's wearing makeup. It's like, no, you're just trying to find a reason to hate on this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's clear as day what you're doing, but it's not working because it's dumb. Like,
But I can't tell if she's wearing Black Widow's clothes or not. Because like Black Widow wears like a black tank top in that. And it's like, am I just trying to think like she's come back and she's got no clothes because she realistically wouldn't?
that's true.
Or
That
is
could
it just
happen.
like?
I feel like her clothes would be a little bit smaller though on her because she's got
True.
a little bit more of like an actual build, not like the skinny build. She has more like a muscular build. So
I wonder
But then
also
you
what they're...
that's movie magic in it, really.
That's true. And I wonder what they're also going to do with, like, her suit. She doesn't need a quantum realm suit, I would assume, because, like, the Lego sets or nothing don't show her
I
one.
would have said the same thing, but the thing, there's the promo art with Thor wearing it.
That's true, yeah.
So it's like, I wouldn't have thought Thor would need it either, but
I feel
you wouldn't have
Thor-
thought Ant-Man would need it, but Ant-Man has one. So it's
I feel Thor would need it a little bit more than
Then Captain Marvel.
Captain
Yeah.
Marvel because yes, he is a god. Yes, he goes through like the Bifrost and all of that, but it's a completely different realm, and maybe it just messes up with his magic
Yeah.
or his power.
maybe, yeah.
They'll come up with another throwaway line like Avengers. Oh, the father had to muster up dark magic to send me here. Okay, let's just move past that quickly. Thanks.
Yeah.
But what if like they're saying about fake scenes? What if the promo art with Thor in that suit is fake?
It could be.
That could be.
And
Yeah.
like, if you look at Lego leaks, no spoilers. Thanos hits the Avengers compound.
Yep.
So what if Thanos and Carol's or Scarlet Witch as well? No, she's dead, isn't she? What if like Thor and Carol stay behind while they all go in the quantum?
True. And also, like, the thing that kind of gets me questioning a lot of stuff is, like, some of that promo art matches up stuff, some of it doesn't. It's just kind of all over the place with this movie. Like, there's really a lot of stuff that's clearly misdirection at the same time. And I want to point to the Empire magazine covers. The Hulk is literally copy and paste PNG from Infinity War.
Oh, yeah.
Same with Tony Stark. Like,
I'm certain they've embraced that meme because
Yeah.
everyone's been like, it's the same Hulk for like the last 6 movies.
it
Like,
is.
yeah.
Like, they just don't care.
It's also not the same Iron Man armor, which is weird.
Oh, definitely. They're
Cap's
trying to
got the
keep a
stem.
lot under wraps here, so...
Oh yeah, and I know you and I were talking about could potentially that Ant-Man with the pencil be when Thanos hits the compound, but if you
Yeah.
look at some of the colors, it looks really messed up. So I'm like, could they also be in the quantum realm, or something happened and the quantum realm actually is what breaks into the compound, and it's not actually
Like it
Thanos?
engulfs it or something?
Yeah, it's like really interesting.
Yeah.
So I put all the colors down to like just fire,
Man,
but it
yeah.
could very well be like a quantum realm thing.
I'm starting to believe that they're not even in the Avengers facility. They're actually going to be in like Hank Pym's facility, and they just completely CG'd that. Just watch. Like,
the X Mansion.
No, they're in the Baxter building, guys.
they've got the reshoots already!
They're in the Baxter building. That's where they are.
Oh, yep. That's that. So, yeah, it was a good trailer. It's probably the last trailer I need. I hope they don't do another one.
You're obviously going to have something for tickets because they're not on sale yet.
Yeah.
Which that'll be like probably first week of April. So
Yep.
maybe a trailer, maybe a TV spot. It's one of the two.
Maybe an action-packed trailer or something, because it feels like they need to, at some point, show action in this.
I say it's like we haven't got a story trailer yet.
That's
Did
true,
we get?
yeah.
We got one for Infinity War, didn't we? I
Yeah.
can't remember.
I feel
Yeah.
like they are not going to with this one, because there's
They're like,
just so
we-
much they want to hide.
We know you're watching this. You watched the last one a dozen times.
Yeah.
I'm saying a story trailer would be weird because there's that whole like 15 minutes worth of footage they can show or something like that.
Yep.
But-
Yeah. So we'll know more soon enough, because I'm betting in the next like 12 to 15 days we're gonna have like another spot as the tickets go on sale. So we'll be back to talk about that when it's time. The Flash, the slowest man to get off the ground as a film, is not moving forward at any rapid pace, as Ezra Miller now is going to rewrite the thing.
No,
Along
he's
with
traveling-
Grant Morrison.
He's traveling so fast, but he only can go in a circle.
Apparently. Like, nothing's happening. Like, people that might be confused as to what's happening, Ezra Miller's contract is about to run out. The hold on his contract that Warner Brothers puts there, which was rumored to be 4 to 5 years, is running out real soon. So he's going to give it a crack, and if it works, it works.
He's trying to save his Flash from being dusted.
I mean, he's not.
So,
because they had the Spider-Man Homecoming people were supposed to write a script for this, and they're now doing something else. So, there's no way Warner Brothers pick up Ezra's script.
So, that's the thing, and here's the kind of idea. It's like, apparently him and Grant Morrison are looking to go a darker version of the Flash. It's like...
Yeah, I think what they're doing is Ezra's trying to get the pitch Snyder sold him on.
No!
And that's what he's trying to do. It's like, there's no way... Like, WB are trying to move away from that. They're just literally going to go, nah, thank you, bye.
And, like, do you want the ultimate proof of that? James Gunn is rebooting Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're trying... The Snyderverse, I'm sorry to you guys that are clenching onto it with, like, one finger hanging off of a building, dangling under, like, alligators trying to bite you. It's dead. It's over. Like, it's just not happening.
It is dead when they have to announce that it's not going to be a sequel and it's going to be called The Suicide Squad.
Right. Like,
but, yeah, it's going to be kind of connected because, like, Harley Quinn is going to be in it. There's no doubt going to have the same Amanda Waller. So it's a reboot, but it's kind of not.
Yeah, it's like a half reboot. Like, there's been other franchises that kind of do that, so it's like, yeah.
It's just sequel boot.
It's kind of like the James Bond syndrome. That's what I'm kind of looking at it as. It's like, it's continuity, but it's clearly a reboot, but we'll just pretend that the other stuff has happened. So, looking at it that way, the Flash, honestly, like, can they stop trying to, like, make Barry Allen dark? Like,
can they just... they have a Flash. We are already oversaturated with the Flash on CW. Him doing the same thing. It's Grant Gustin. Let him do his thing. And honestly, I didn't really like Ezra Miller as the Flash. I feel like maybe it's because of the fact we didn't get too much of him as Flash, but I still just didn't like any of it.
So what you're saying is you're getting tired of Run Barry Run every episode.
That's why we stopped.
Yep.
And we just know it's always Run Barry Run.
I don't know where they can go with it. Like, Grant Morrison, when he writes, it's almost like taking an LSD trip.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want that with the Flash, because I understand what they're going to go for. It's like, the Snyder pitch. It's like, look, Snyder's pitch was apparently going to be real dark for the Flash and, like, violent. It's like, that's not him. That's not what we want. Like,
but I think all this really says is, like, the whole hold up with the Flash movie is because of Ezra.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't like these scripts. Get rid of him. It's like, all right, the last ditch effort is me writing it myself with Morrison, obviously. And once May rolls around, they're just going to be like, no, sorry.
Also,
don't like the script.
Here's how it goes. You know who else is an actually talented writer and director, and he couldn't crack his own script? Ben Affleck. So I have no faith, I'm sorry, in Ezra Miller being able to pull off something miraculous that's going to come off and be like, like, oh my God, this is what we need to make. And if Ben Affleck can do it with a character he loves and grew up wanting to play for his entire life, I'm just going to say this movie's not happening. They're giving Ezra a crack at it, but it's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
I'll say it's a courtesy crack. That's what it is.
Yep.
Like, if Ray Fisher at this point did the same thing, they probably would be like, all right, fine.
Yeah, sure.
Because he's in the exact same boat. Once May rolls around, the pair of them are gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And maybe it's something they should just do. Like, allow them to leave, let them do their own things, and go from there. Don't even give us these characters again for a while. No. Like, you have a new Suicide Squad coming in that's going to be fun. You have Aquaman that people really liked. You have Wonder Woman that people like her movie. So just go somewhere else with it. You have Shazam.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, even if they have to, just go Flashpoint and just change the Flash character.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they have to make a Flash movie, there's other Flashes.
Exactly.
I mean, why don't you just literally, like, use Bart. Have him travel through time and make him be the default one, and he's comedic enough and he's not dark, and just be like, oh, I guess your Flash is dead, but I'm from the future though. It's cool, or something, like alternate universe. It's like, we don't care. Just make it a good movie.
Yep. It's free real estate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
No.
I mean, we'll probably talk about The Flash again in about, I would say, a month and a half when Ezra Miller officially leaves the project.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah. We'll be.
And hopefully the script will leak online because I want to read that train wreck.
Oof. It literally starts with a train wreck. Like, it's going to try to mimic Days of Future or Dark Phoenix, whatever the hell that movie is.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep, well, off of that, Shang-Chi has found its director, and most likely the release date. Now, the release date hasn't been confirmed, but Marvel a couple years ago announced all their brand new releases. One of them perfectly lands on the Chinese New Year. Guess whose movie's coming out on the Chinese New Year?
Yep.
See, that was my bet as well.
It has to happen, so I'm so hyped for this movie. Like, I can't wait to see it.
And if, like, that Reddit 4chan leak, which apparently it's not too far off, like, it sounds like it'll be a good movie.
Yeah?
Like, it'll crack 1 billion. There's no way it won't.
Dude, with the Chinese market having a Chinese star and, like, being primarily shot over there and targeted, like, that movie's gonna do, like, 700 million China alone. It's gonna be huge. Like, it's... Oh, man. Which kind of, like, gets me hyped for what Disney is positioning themselves for, because you can see, like, the tactics are written all, like, over their, you know, properties and ideas, and what I kind of have to say here is Bob Iger has truly transformed Disney, because before him, I can't remember the CEO's name right now.
Wasn't it Eisner?
Yeah, Eisner, yes. His strategy was literally come in, put out anything, make a small profit, and then greenlight something else.
Yeah.
And Bob Iger came in and went, instead of making a sci-fi franchise, or instead of making a comic book franchise, let's just spend big money on established franchises, and look at what he's done. Like, the dude is a genius, so... Like, Shang-Chi is the next crack that he's gonna absolutely, like, break apart and, like, storm the Chinese market over there. And I can't wait to see it, honestly.
It's gonna be
Has anyone seen anything by Destin Daniel, though? Because I've never heard of this director.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look up his...
Let's see.
Apparently
They're
it's going to
typing
be
so loud.
apparently it's going to be like really hip hop focused. Which, to be fair, Iron Fist did that, but no one watched Iron Fist, so.
I loved Iron Fist.
He's done stuff I've never heard of, so he's perfect, just like John Watts for Spider-Man.
It looks like it's a lot of shorts and documentaries.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, again, it's sticking with the indie like director route.
yeah, I mean, like, because it is really interesting. Because if you look at it from like the Marvel comic side, they are trying really hard to get established over there in the Asian market with all their influx of homegrown Marvel comics over there in China.
Also, thanks to Akira Yoshida, so Les Zabowski.
Yeah.
But-
I don't know, like, what do you think Shang-Chi's ultimate, like, plot is going to be, or when it takes place, or anything like that? What do you think about some of that? How do they position this into the MCU? Because it's such a
I think
departure
it's
from
got to be
everything.
modern day. It's got to be modern day. I don't think you can make a period piece again.
Yeah.
I suppose you could make a period piece, but I don't know. I think that little gimmick might wear thin. Apparently, it's based around a tournament. You can have like all the best fighters in the Marvel universe
The
show up.
Kumite? Oh my god! Oh my god! Here we go! Kickboxer crossover.
Well, that and you get to see people die. So
I mean, yeah, might not.
Yeah.
Disney, but...
It's kind of unfortunate. It's like Iron Fist got the like bad timing, the whole Netflix thing. It's like I would have loved to see those two together.
I mean, it's still possible.
It is.
There's
it is,
a very, very small hope, but it depends on a lot of things. Because once everything's technically being like made in house, because at the minute everything's not, there's more freedom for things to cross over.
Yep.
So maybe like if Iron Fist gets back next year, which could be in time, but
yeah. I mean, the thing that like excites me about Shang-Chi is like I want it to be a different movie, and like we said, tournament, so it might just be that. And how cool would it be to have that smaller scale? It's like there's no alien invasion here. There's none of that. It's
I'd
like
be so happy with something
we're gonna
different.
look into a different part of the MCU again and explore that aspect of it, which honestly is kind of awesome.
The only thing I would do though is his dad, like Shang-Chi's dad, is actually like literal Fu Manchu.
Yep.
Like throw that away for the love of God.
So
make his dad the Mandarin.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
'cause-
say Mandarin.
because his dad's him and his mom is just some random American girl. That's basically it.
So like just completely push that to the side and
So-
be like, here's the Mandarin.
So people are kind of aware what we're talking about. Fu Manchu is the racist, like, stereotype caricature. You know, it's kind of really bad taste, and you can't do that. That's kind of like what Mandarin was kind of based around, which is why they had to take a different approach to Mandarin.
Like the Mandarin is a Fu Manchu archetype, but you can change the Mandarin enough to get away from that.
So if they were to finally give us the conclusion to the Mandarin story, but tie it up here and like have him be this guy that's maybe been running this crazy tournament for like, you know, decades and somehow involve, I don't know, like crime syndicates or something in there, I think you could spin it in a good way and give people what they finally want. You know, it's like, here's your stupid proper Mandarin, you morons. Like,
It's also apparently going to be like more visually VFX heavy than you might think. Which, if the Mandarin's in there, you could bring in Fing Fang Foom.
Oh shit!
I know that's huge, but like Fing Fang Foom, why not?
I can only imagine he's sitting down at a bar. He's trying to talk about it. Dude walks up in a hoodie, sits down. I punched a dragon. I'm the immortal Iron Fist. Everybody here knows I'm the immortal Iron Fist. I gotta make sure you know I'm the immortal Iron Fist.
And then just walks away.
Damn it, Danny.
Well, in the original Iron Man movie, they had a small poster. Like, it took you forever, but you finally saw it, like the poster of Fing Fang Foom. So when could this movie potentially then take place if they already had a poster of Fing Fang Foom?
I think
I
that
mean,
was just
you could do the Eternal singing, just insert Fing Fang Foom into light history.
Yup. Yeah, exactly.
Just do it that way.
You can also make it so that it's like a legend, and that was just like a person's drawing, but everybody's like, oh, well, obviously dragons aren't real, and actually it being a real thing.
Yeah.
It's like, correct, dragons aren't real because he's an alien.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get some really good martial arts action scenes.
Oh, you will. That's the one
yeah.
thing they have to do.
Oh god, I can't wait. I could only imagine like how good those will look, and then you add in like that Marvel CG and like, oh man, yeah, that shit's gonna be legit.
But it needs a different flair to like the fights they've had previously. Like it can't look like Winter Soldier or anything like that.
No.
It has to be completely different.
They're gonna sit there and they're going to go and be like, all right, actors, you want to be in this? Yeah, we're gonna dump you in this like sanctuary, and you have to learn everything at this dojo, and you have to become black belts.
We're gonna dump you in
3
an
years.
actual kumite. Go fight for your life, and if you survive, you got this.
Did I get the part? Well, you're not the person we're looking for right now.
Did you live? No, we haven't got the part.
Nope.
Oh, you broke your arms? Yeah, you can't do this now.
So yeah, what we're saying is we're gonna talk way more about Shang-Chi undoubtedly in the next year when more and more things get confirmed and castings happening, but it is coming at us, and I think we're all pretty excited about this one. So,
Yes.
yeah, we'll talk about it soon. So this week we finally had it happen. No more speculation, no more things can go wrong. Disney now officially owns Fox. The Disney website's been updated. It's all there.
They're home.
They're home. Everything is right where it should be.
And Twitter, I apologize for not liking the Foxman movies. Like, you haven't got to come at me for not liking them.
Well, don't worry. In 2 years, they'll be forgotten. Nobody will talk about anything but Logan. So,
I mean, have you seen Spider-Man on Twitter? Like, no one's forgotten those movies.
oh, God,
Every
Raimi-
day, it's just Raimi movies.
Well, it's that, or they better bring Hugh Jackman for Logan because he's the
Yeah.
best part.
So
Well-
how about no?
Let Hugh Jackman be old, people. He's been doing this for 18 years. Let him be old and do something
as
else.
of right now, just kind of looking at it, it's more or less confirmed without officially them saying it. Deadpool's the only thing staying. Like,
Yeah.
nothing else is staying.
But is Ryan Reynolds staying? Is the question.
Well, we had discussed this. We feel like what they're going to do is be like, hey, here's your third adaptation. Do your movie. And then if it doesn't work out, they can just recast him. It's like Deadpool does not need to be Ryan Reynolds.
We'd like it if it is,
Yeah.
but, you know, it's...
Right, here's how you close out that trilogy. Deadpool kills the Foxman universe.
Exactly. Yep. Give everybody their last contract.
Have Ryan Reynolds die at the end of that movie, and then have a different Deadpool. Done.
Well, it's like
no more confusion.
The thing with this whole deal is things now can start rolling with how they're going to go forward, right? So it's like now they're going to go talk to the Fox people that, you know, hold on to the X-Men and Fantastic Four, and they're going to be like, okay, so we got to keep you on as a producer in name. So, okay, because clearly Kevin Feige is going to be behind everything, but there's still contracts tied up to these properties that some of these people have to be attached, just like, you know, Amy Pascal. She has to be attached to the Spider-Man franchise, and it's like, you can't get rid of that. So there's still going to be a little carryover, but the whole thing that's happening is it's theirs now. They don't have to do what Fox wants, right? It's like, and Bob Iger said it's all going to Kevin Feige, so we don't have to worry about that. You know, it's going to a good location.
Get consistency
Yeah.
and coherency within a full franchise.
It will actually be the X-Men.
Yes.
And
It
we'll
won't just
actually
be Wolverine and what's his face?
Magneto and
Yes, Wolverine and Magneto. There.
Yep.
And we'll actually then get a good Fantastic Four as well, and not Trash Bag Man.
Oh. Can Fantastic Four be first?
I think it
as
needs
a
to.
point of pride, like make that movie first. Like leave the X-Men for about 5 years.
Call it Fantastic
you don't
Four
need them.
Homecoming. Please.
Oh.
So what, we're going to have them in college, and they're going to like their homecoming college dance instead of high school?
That's how the Fantastic Four should be. They should be in
There
school
we go.
first, like, because that's where he meets Doctor Doom. So
Why don't you call it Moving In instead?
Fantastic Four moving in. I'm sure.
Or move-in day?
The dormitories.
Yep.
No, it'll be Fantastic Four graduation, and it's just their senior year.
Whatever they come up with, I mean, they'll probably realistically call it like the Marvel's Fantastic Four, and that's all you need. You know, it's like, yeah.
Or even maybe the Future Foundation.
Just
to get away from. But then again, it's like I want the Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, but the Fantastic Four carries that name, and Future Foundation's like, us nerds know that because we're like, Jonathan Hickman's the greatest thing to ever touch this franchise. So it's like,
that is factually correct.
It is. That is fact. That is fact.
He's the goat.
Hopefully they get a cameo in with Peter because of Johnny and Peter.
Oh, they'll tie Spider-Man in. There's no way they don't.
Yeah.
There's no way they don't.
So then I wonder, could it potentially be maybe Spider-Man 3's movie is where we actually then get the Fantastic Four introduced, because Peter's going to be in college by his third movie. So have him be in college, meet some of the Fantastic Four, and then that's when they reveal,
he takes an internship at the Baxter Building.
There's the Baxter Building. Like, we got our new thing. So I think that'd be awesome.
As long as the Sony stuff allows that, yes.
Yeah.
I could see it happening.
Because that'd be the only thing I could see stopping that. Is just like, oh, it's Sony. Like, we don't want the Fantastic Four. Like,
Peter gets mad because all Dr. Richards is doing is making him go get coffee all the time.
It'll be like that one episode of the Fantastic Four cartoon where it was clearly Peter Parker, but every time he'd go to say his name, he'd be like, and then they'd cut him off due to legal issues. They'll just do that exact same thing with the Fantastic Four. We're the
There's four of us. We're a team of 4 people.
They're the Fantabulous Four.
Yeah, they're prototyping new names. The Fabulous Four.
We're the Funky Four. We're the Fun Four.
I know, like, there's a lot of opportunity now for them to like introduce these characters. So, like, honestly, I think you're gonna have to introduce these characters first somewhere else. Like, you don't just come out and go, "Here's your X-Men movie," and everybody's a brand new cast member. Like, you're gonna have to do what you did with Black Panther and Spider-Man, kind of like roll them in slower. Like, I think Storm, she needs to. If she doesn't get a solo, she should probably be like one of the first. So.
If Storm is not in Black Panther 2, I'll be shocked.
Same.
Yep.
Like, just put her in there. It's easily done. There's nothing stopping you now. So.
That's actually the easiest, I think, introduction possible. Like, it literally wrote itself perfectly into a storyline. It's like she can literally just walk in and be like, "Hi," and then everybody's like, "Okay, you're accepted now."
You just have a one like from one of the different tribes. You're like, there you go, done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they sit there and they do that, then we can actually start having their love relationship start and be able to potentially move away from.
And if they don't even want to do that, right? They could literally have a moment where she's like working, you know, in Wakanda, and T'Challa's like, "So you want to be an ambassador? Yeah, there's this school up in upstate New York calling me for gifted people." And she's like, "I'm gonna take my leave and go there, I guess." It's like, because you know they have the Wakandan outreach programs. Just make like her be the outreach to the mutants. It's like, oh, that's perfect. Like, they have so many ins now where they can tie these characters easily into all this. It's kind of like, it's like what, you know, 2.5, 3 years away.
You can just like easily slip in Kitty Pryde in Spider-Man movie.
Yep.
Like done. She's new to his school. There you go.
But there's the Kitty Pryde script, which I'm sure Kevin Feige has already flushed down a toilet.
It's just like, oh, Bendis, no.
Bendis is gonna push that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, he was on the creative committee once before. It's like, we got rid of you once. We're not gonna get you back.
We're not touching your paperwork again.
No, it's going to be like the whole Tony Stark thing. It's like, oh no, we don't touch you don't hand him things. I'm going to take this and it's going to go in the fireplace where it belongs.
So, you know, in all fairness, they're already paying Bendis enough as it is. Like,
that's true.
We're not going to take your script, mate.
So here's like a good suggestion we had in the chat, which, what if they took a couple of the X-Men characters, like start them off sort of like a solo-ish thing, and then they meet them up for, you know, having like that giant crossover. I think that could work too, like, because there's a lot to go.
But that's a lot of movies, though.
That is. Not gonna deny that.
I can see them putting a lot of them on the Disney Plus network. I feel like that's the best way to sit there and start these character developments.
Like, give us 5 shows for the original 5 X-Men.
Oh my!
And maybe it doesn't lead into an X-Men movie, but like you just establish them there.
Right.
They do something with them. Like maybe it's just like them in the school or something.
Well, it's like apparently Disney's working on even more shows than we're aware of.
Oh yeah.
So
there's a ton, which we should find out in April. So
true. There's a lot of excitement to go forward with this. It's kind of a good, like almost unreal moment when that happened. I was like, like, how do I even react to this now that it's a reality, you know? Like,
and say it's a weird one because it's not like Spider-Man where there's like massive fanfare around it. It's just like, oh, they're here. Oh,
yep.
It's done.
I think it's just been something everybody has been wanting for a while. Like, Spider-Man is a huge character, and he has everybody of New York behind him, because that's where he comes from. So it's really interesting because you have the X-Men, who we've seen for so long that everybody's like, okay, they're back in Marvel, but we haven't gotten the X-Men, and we've gotten an oversaturation of them.
I think probably the biggest thing is that there's still X-Men movies coming out.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, hopefully they pull it. Fingers crossed. Because no one would. Like, I don't care if you say you want to see it. You don't really. Let's be honest.
You don't.
Like, just watch X3. You're seeing the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's like where it was with TASM. There was TASM 3 kind of just sunk. So
to me, like, the first X-Men movie needs to be a little bit more smaller scale, if that makes sense. Because like, I'm hoping personally, I want it to go arcade. Because I've wanted to see arcade and film for a while, and I would honestly use was it Avengers Academy that did like the battle royale type of
Avengers Arena.
That's the movie I want. Arcade traps the X-Men in there and have them work together, stripped away from what's made them, you know, good, and kind of have them build up this relationship working together in like this giant obstacle course. To me, it's cheap enough and it's different than everything else we've seen so far. So
that was a really good comic run, because that was actually one that I did read, and because I like those kind of one shoots instead, because I don't have to truly know all the history of everything.
Right.
And it was really well done, and I feel like Arcade would be somebody really awesome to bring in because it's somebody we haven't seen.
And also, we're finally probably going to get Sinister, and we've been waiting for him for they've been teasing him for a decade now.
Well, that's the good thing about this, you know. It's not like Spider-Man where Sony used everything 3 times before Marvel got them. Like with X-Men, they only used the same person 8 times.
Right.
So that you still have like the majority of the X-Men villain roster.
Did the Sinister thing ever go anywhere?
No.
He was supposed to be in the end credits of New Mutants, but I believe they're taking it out now.
New Mutants is taking itself out.
I mean, probably, yeah.
That thing is literally like a dude running down a hill trying not to trip, but there's like giant trip mines. Like he's just gonna go like tumbling down, exploding, and rolling down the hill. Like, come on.
I'm still really hyped to watch it though.
It ain't gonna happen, Mitch.
It's gonna happen. It will come out.
There is a bigger likelihood that Dark Phoenix gets pulled than that actually. Like,
I mean, probably yeah, but I still want to see it. Release the New Mutants cut. Where's the boot cut?
3 people are gonna have that hashtag in their name.
Don't matter. That's 300% more than the other hashtag that's out there. So.
You really want people to just blast Disney, release the New Mutants cut over and over again?
Like, people blast Disney for whatever, so you might as well, can't beat them.
Monopoly.
It's a day that ends in Y, so everybody's gonna hate on Disney.
They got the monopoly. In case you didn't hear it, monopoly. I'm making fun of all you Monopoly people out there, and not the people that play the game, because if you're playing it, you're not listening to this, because the Monopoly game never ends.
If you played a Monopoly game, you know it's not a Monopoly.
There's people raging at other people because you stole their money.
I mean, that's essentially Hollywood anyway.
So, let's get to the big kind of question topic here. The big first villain they're going to use. Is it Doctor Doom? Is this the obvious choice, or do they go Magneto as a phase villain?
Okay.
See, I can't see Magneto being a phase villain. Like, yes, he's got the potential to be, but I don't think he's big enough.
Bro, haven't you read Ultimates? He can move the magnetic pole, bro.
I feel
but that was up.
because of the fact that Magneto has already been done by 2 amazing actors. I don't care what people say. My personal opinion is I loved both actors as Magneto. And I feel we have gotten enough of his story that they're going to hold him aside for a little while, and it will be somebody like Doom, or somebody who we haven't seen at all in the movies be the new person.
I mean, suggesting in chat is Kang. What if Kang is like an Eternals villain? That would make so much sense.
I mean, exactly. Kronos, he's literally like the Master of Time. So Kang would make sense for an Eternals movie.
God damn.
But, see, I really don't know with the X-Men, because I think Magneto is one of those they have to kind of take a step back and rethink. Because you can't have him be from like World War II in the whole like concentration camps. He's an old man that wouldn't be able to do anything unless you have like his powers somehow control how he looks.
Right.
I could see them sitting there and being like, "Hey, because he's able to control magnetism, it slows everything down."
Yeah,
possibly. Because like it's such a like how I don't know. It's a weird problem to have.
And here's the thing now with as we've seen with Captain Marvel, with a cheaper budget like Captain Marvel had, Nick Fury's in the majority of the movie, and he was de-aged the entire time. Whoever they cast as Magneto in the next 2 years, they got those full facial scans and stuff. He can remain looking the same for the next 30 years if they want with the same actor. Yeah. So, I mean, the technology's creepily hit that point where it's like unreal what's able to happen. So, I think Magneto would be a good choice, but he's got to wait it around a little bit, and probably another X-Men villain. Like, realistically, like, I don't think he's...
So you got to go somewhere different. Like, maybe go like a bit more cosmic, because, X-Men do, despite what the movies say, they are kind of cosmic-y, so...
Can we get, like, the Starjammers Disney Plus show?
What are the
you can work it into, like, a Cyclops show.
Dude, that'd be so dope.
Oh, wait. Guys, why don't we have Spider-Man and his Fantastic Friends?
Yes.
I mean, that's a perfect Disney Plus show.
It is.
That would be so much fun. Modernize their outfits and that would be so cool.
So what's the best way to explain the Starjammers to Shay? X-Men Guardians? Would that be?
Hey, that's Polaris.
Yeah. Cyclops' dad leads the X-Men Guardians. Yeah.
We got Polaris, and who is that big green guy? That guy is like fingers really close to her butt crack. He's just trying to show me pictures of Starjammers, and like this one guy is like images.
They've had various members throughout time, but I mean, wouldn't that be kind of cool if they spin off X-Men into a space thing as well? That's kind of like.
Yeah. I mean, it's the direction they're heading. No,
everything's up in space.
Yeah. No, so.
Yeah, maybe do like one of the alien races for the first X-Men movie.
Shi'ar.
kind of like mirror the first Avengers movie. They all come together because of an alien invasion.
Yeah, just bring in the Shi'ar. I'm down for it.
Or like the Brood, like
The Brood,
like,
yeah.
the more throwaway ones, like the Shi'ar you can do eventually. I said it for a Guardians movie myself personally, but
yeah,
do something like that. I can't think what's the other like weird monster races that X-Men have.
I don't know, but they should finally do Annihilus. Like,
yes,
please.
Yeah. See, that's a phase villain right there.
That is a phase villain. Yeah.
Give me the Cosmic Control Rod and the Annihilation Wave.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Basically, there's just so much now
There's
that
so
has
much.
been opened up to being able to be a part of
The
this.
MCU will live way past all of our lives. That's what's insane to think about. Like, man, they
It'll
got
be
everything
like our
now.
grandkids will potentially see the end of Marvel. Like, that's like 3 or 4 generations away now.
I just hope you can watch movies in the afterlife.
True.
Kind
Let's
of
just
Or
Black
hopefully they
Mirror
can-
this, and we're all going to be in that simulation. Our consciousness will be in that computer simulation haven, and they'll release all the movies there.
No,
for
put
us.
our heads in jars and then we'll be set. I was gonna buy a permanent spot at a movie theater. Feed me my like fish food like they do in Futurama every couple of days.
I mean, worth it.
Just give me something so I can keep podcasting my useless thoughts online.
So just give it an Ethernet cable and a microphone. That's all we need. Just like...
Yeah. So we'll be back more with this. I'm assuming after Endgame, Feige's gonna start dropping a few hints here and there, and some of them are gonna be like, yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's the question. Is the Comic-Con announcement gonna have anything to do with this?
I don't think Comic-Con does. D23,
It'll
yes,
be D23.
but...
Yeah, they're going to be... That's where they're going to drop the first hint of where we're going to see something.
Like, Shan and I talked about this, like, D23 is where you go if you're a Disney diehard.
Yeah.
But they don't really announce movies at D23.
Right?
They can start, though.
I think they could start.
That's true. They could very well start.
Make it a big thing.
It's not... like, last year, yes, they had Star Wars and they had Marvel, but now they have Fox as well. So they have even more that they can just sit there and be like, why don't we just put it all here?
Do you think they could run another own show like they did when they announced the entirety of the next phase before Ultron came out?
I wouldn't be surprised, but hasn't Feige said they're not going to do that anymore?
Yeah, because of the Ultron
it's like
backlash.
Comic-Con. Yeah, like Comic-Con, we're not going to get the entire Phase 4 slate. It's just going to be like the next 3 years or whatever, which is still like 8 movies, but...
Well, I can see them not going to San Diego or New York and announcing anything because of the fact it's like a lot of people, at least like New York City Comic Con, everybody goes for Walking Dead,
right?
Even though it's like almost dead now.
So,
but
let me ask this then. Since they are going to kind of slowly announce stuff, what happens with the Fox dates? Because Fox has at least 1 to 2 movies slated starting 2020 through 2022, I believe. So,
I mean, you could use them for your own ones.
Yeah, is Disney going to keep those?
Yeah, maybe like it's a complete long shot, but it's a nice segue. Like you could slot Guardians in one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I can see them also. It's like it's not just the Marvel section that we're excited about going into Disney from Fox.
Oh, no.
There's a lot of other franchises
Star Wars!
that we can see. Like,
Alien.
Yeah, we can actually get a good reboot and a better telling story of Alien. Predator is a part of that as well. Terminator, I believe.
No, Terminator. No, Cameron got that back because it used to be like jumping around studios.
But like they have so many other franchises. Avatar.
Avatar is gonna be huge. Like gonna be absolute. Like that right now is their golden egg because it's the biggest movie of all time.
Yep.
Hey, at least then that means maybe Cameron will get a fire lit under his ass and he'll actually get these movies done.
I mean, isn't he doing 2 and 3 right now?
He wrapped up 2 and 3, and apparently they were going to start pre-production for 4 and 5. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he finished 2.
I believe he finished them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only taken him 10 years.
Well, they had to do figure out new technology to be able to record underwater. So
Papa Cameron wants to go underwater. God damn it, Cameron. He's still looking for that creature from the abyss. If any of you kids understand what I'm referencing, congratulations. You're old like I am. So, yeah, that's our big old Fox chat right there. That's like an entire podcast on itself.
Oh.
Papa Gunn is back.
He is.
Yep. What a shocking turn of events.
See, it's balance in the world, because 2 days prior, Bryan Singer got chucked off of Red Sonja. So there is balance in the universe right now.
Get out of here.
I'm really happy that he's back and that Disney kind of like apologized, being like, we shouldn't have done what we did. We're sorry. Please come back. And everybody who sat there and was with Gunn the entire time, they're all sitting there praising and thanking Disney as well, being like, you made the right decision. Like, you shouldn't have jumped the gun, and fired him. But now we're gonna actually not have to worry about Guardians 3. Like, hopefully we get a much better end act than Guardians 2. But now we don't have to worry about Guardians 3 attempting to be Gunn's vision, but not Gunn doing it. And hopefully then there'll be a lot less backlash with him being fired originally.
I mean, there's still backlash with him being rehired from.
I think that's the minority of people, to be honest. Like, they're the people that like, oh, he made a pedophile joke, he has to be a pedophile. It's like, what you talking about?
Yeah, it was a weird scenario, but I'm glad he's back, and it's like Disney is gonna have him finish, obviously, Suicide Squad, which hopefully that takes off on time, because if it doesn't, then Guardians 3 gets.
I'm gonna say I think Suicide Squad's starting this year.
Yep, it looks like summer. So
I'll say like August, sometime like that, around then. But I'm not 100% sure. It's coming out in 2021.
He's starting in 2020. So realistically, Guardians is probably coming out like
2022, 2023.
Yeah, I would say
there's no way he can make it either way.
Currently, there's a May 6th, 2022 Disney Marvel date, so that's going to be it.
And there you go.
Gotta be it.
Which, luckily enough, like we've talked about with other films, like, say, Doctor Strange, it's going to be a massive amount of time between his first movie and his second one. At least we've gotten them in Avengers, that it's not going to feel like it's too much time lapse that we don't see them. And I'd rather wait an extra year to get James Gunn's version than them being like, well, we're going to rush all of this and not get your true vision in for the third movie.
And now, like, with multiple reports coming out there saying, from sites being like, no, they never met with other directors. This was a plan all along. I'm just like, you're all dumb.
Crap.
Dude, Adam McKay is not going to lie, okay? Like,
no.
He literally said he sat with Kevin Feige, talked about doing Guardians and Inhumans. Like, come on.
Like, I think it was like the first or second week after James Gunn got fired, they met with Nicole Perlman.
Yeah.
Who wrote Guardians 1 and did a bit of Captain Marvel. So they were talking to her. They're talking to people like Travis Knight.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of indie directors, a lot of female indie directors as well, actually. Can't think of their names right now. But there's a ton of people. That short list was not short. But either no one wanted to do it or, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, people probably wanted to do it, but they couldn't do it because of the backlash they would get. They knew it was stepping into a unfillable shoes, and especially how much of the internet, and I know, vocal minority, guess what? You're not the majority, as we've seen with Star Wars, and as we've seen now with Disney's response, and as we've seen with Captain Marvel. They did not want to step in there and get attacked. So, of course, they didn't take it. Like, they were covering themselves, and now that he's back, it's like, well, he can finish his trilogy. He's going to be the first director to do it in Marvel, which is kind of amazing. Yeah. I'm assuming he'll get followed by Peyton for Ant-Man 3, but
I'm more than likely.
It's quite awesome and exciting that he's back. And the thing that really, like, makes me happy about this, the fact that he has now an extra, like, year to work on this, with all the Fox properties that he said he wanted to potentially tap into. Like, God.
I was waiting to bring that up. It's like the guy's got everything.
Mouth-watering possibilities, right? Like, if he wants to introduce Surfer or someone, he can. And that's unbelievably amazing. So
that's the thing. He was supposed to bring in the Eternals.
Uh-huh.
They haven't got to be in that movie anymore. You could put Surfer in there.
Yeah.
You know, you could. Who else could you put in there? There's too many to think of right now. I think Adam Warlock was probably going to be in there anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what if it's James Gunn introduces, like, the Shi'ar or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Easily.
You could just have this massive just look through of all the alien races. Like, here's everything Marvel ever wanted.
And he,
maybe get a Galactus hint. Who knows?
Yeah,
he'll be able to do it too. And like, I trust what Gunn's able to do. Like, look what he did with Guardians, a movie that nobody thought at first was going to be something that exploded the way it did. You had a talking raccoon, a tree that said "I am Groot," a wrestler who's never acted before, and Chris Pratt, who had a huge following on Parks and Recs, but that was the only thing he's ever done. And they came together and made this amazing movie that broke records.
And at the time, James Gunn was announced as director. Literally, I remember my entire friends list was like, wow, Marvel is actually going to kill their entire franchise right now.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And it was like, no, they literally redefined comic book movies with Guardians 1. And Guardians 2, I might not like it as much. It's a competent movie.
It's just
I just didn't like many elements of it, but it's still a good, solid film. So
it's a good 1.5 movie.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It was a good filler movie.
Yeah.
And that's actually kind of what it was, because it was like it takes place prior to all these other things happening, so it kind of had to be a filler movie, you know. Like,
I mean, like, just thinking about, it's having Guardians 3 be like years after Infinity War and Endgame. It's no different to Guardians 2 being years before Infinity War.
Exactly.
So I suppose you kind of get the same feeling, but.
I want them to do more sandwich jokes, though. I will say I appreciated that.
I want them to do more, less stupid fighting and more Peter Quill uses his brain like Guardians 1. I want more of that.
Well, the fact that they're even they took that aspect and put it into Captain Marvel as well. It's like, that is really smart, because you have people who all they want to do is punch things. Thor. Like, he's that guy who's like, I'm going to punch my way through. That's how I'm going to win. And then you had Loki, who's like, I'm going to manipulate and win my battle. Even though he didn't win any of his battles. But then you have, like, Quill, who's just like, I'm going to distract you. I'm going to use, like, my intelligence, which really isn't that much.
It was him being kind of childish and goofy to defeat Ronan, which was honestly awesome. And that's kind of the thing I want more. Like, that's my hope for Guardians 3. Is that it's more like Guardians 1. Like, and I know...
See, I hope it's not like the other two at all.
Are you're hoping for a Taika Thor?
I'm still on that darker route. Like, give us the darker, like, maybe not an Infinity War tone, but more similar to that.
I can see, like, say Gamora doesn't come back at all. She is not somebody who comes back after the snap. And now Quill has to live with the fact that he wasn't able to save both women in his life. He couldn't save his mother, who that put him into his own type of a depressional state. But now he also couldn't save the true woman he loved. So now you're going to have him potentially being more reckless again, trying to be somebody who I'm going to try to fight. And the team has to sit there and be like, hey, like, we're here for you. You may not have her, but you still have us. We can do this together.
Old Man Quill, that's what we want.
I mean, do it.
Yeah. Like, more personal. I mean, I'd be down for that.
See, I don't know if Gamora is going to come back, because in the comics, she did get trapped in the Soul Stone and then she came out.
Yeah.
But then recently, they played on that a little bit, where, like, the Soul Stone keeps a part of your soul. So you're never really whole once you come out. So you could play on that. And, like, have it be she's not the person he fell in love with.
Maybe she no longer has her emotion.
Yeah, and, like, sort of, like, it's kind of similar to what they're going to clearly do with Vision. But, just play on that sort of.
I could see them actually doing that. If anybody watches Star Trek Discovery, they actually play very much with that exact thing. There was a character who died and got trapped into a different realm and was able to be brought back. They were brought back in full, complete health.
Yeah, but he's real effed up in the brain, so...
Yeah, because he no longer feels.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be a really interesting way of making it darker.
So... The direction for, like, characters after Endgame is going to be, like, how are they coping with this? Like,
right.
You're going to need the ramifications. That's the perfect way of doing it.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I was saying. It's like, so it's like you have to do it as a sequel to what happens in Endgame. And that's really the way you want to go about it. I mean, we're definitely going to find out more. I'm assuming this year they'll drop a couple of hints, and then we'll be talking about it way more as production starts, probably early next year by the sound of it. So,
And also, just to end it off, like, this wasn't because of the Fox Disney deal.
No.
Like, that deal started in June. He was fired in July.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's just a weird coincidence.
Get your conspiracy theories out of there.
Just be happy he's back, and maybe now Batista's gonna have to like sugar his way back into Disney to be in the last
Sorry,
movie.
Papa.
I mean, they gave him what he wanted. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep. Brings us to the end of this podcast. This has been like a classic longer episode, definitely cracking the hour mark there for fans.
We had so much amazing things happen. So here, let's predict what's going to happen the moment we end this podcast again.
Last time it was 3 minutes after Shang-Chi director was announced.
Yeah. So I had all the topics for this week's cast on Thursday.
So after we did ours.
Yeah. Just like, thanks, Internet. You couldn't have waited.
Yeah, I'm literally downstairs and Armin screams, being like, hey, you know our curse that big news breaks the moment where you shut down the podcast?
Here we go.
I was like, God damn it.
Because every time in the comments is, you guys didn't talk about such and such that happened.
Yeah,
Literally
funny
3 minutes
that, we
after.
know. No. I don't know what could come out. Eternals. I bet it's Eternals casting. I bet there's something.
Keanu Reeves has been cast as
Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer. Oh. Yes, I'll take it.
No, he can't really act that well, so give him Silver Surfer.
Just listen to me. Listen to me, Disney, right now. One of your guys is listening to this. He's trying to pick up notes. All right, hear me out.
Oh, no.
All right. Galactus, Jared Leto. Make it happen.
See, I was going to say Danny DeVito, but...
You know, fine. Oh, my God. Danny DeVito could be the egg that Galactus is born out of?
Yes.
Dude, I'm...
You guys are the worst.
Add Always Sunny in Philadelphia into continuity and have an episode about what they do after the snap.
Yeah. See, as long as, like, you know, if you can't get DeVito for Galactus, you know, maybe get him in Eternals and have him be the Fulcrum. Like, he is like the top Celestial.
So what we mean is, thanks for listening to this podcast, everybody, and you should definitely join us on the post show on Twitch live every week. And remember, you can now find us on SoundCloud and Spotify.
Yay.
Because they're not the same.
Because they're not the same, as it turns out.
Are they even the same colors?
Nope.
No,
Green and orange.
One's orange.
I was way off on that one.
So you had my color dyslexia.